not be able to do it. So we would just be doing some, like it can be, when do you say it is unlawful? When it is forbidden by law, or if it is illegal, or if it is fraudulent, or as per it is affecting the security of the, or the social security of the people is harmed, or we can say if it is not in, if it affects the sentiments or beliefs of another caste or religion, etc., or it is opposed to the public policy itself. So, under all these conditions, the objects of the agreement itself is unlawful. So, what we will do is for a better understanding, I'll give you an example. Just tell me whether it is, how does it fall under an unlawful, how is it that is an unlawful or is it a lawful object? Okay. Now, the first one is producing and selling pirated CDs. Is that a lawful object?
No, ma'am.
No. So, these are agreements with such people are unlawful. Okay. It is forbidden by law, that's why it is unlawful. If I pay someone to get me a job, is that lawful?
No, ma'am.
Why? Give me a reason why. If I
Because we are
pay
not.
someone to get me a government, okay, assume that I'm paying someone to get a government job itself. Is it
Ma'am,
lawful?
because it's not. It's like a unfair game, ma'am. Like others are trying hard. They'll write exams, entrance exams, and they'll enter the job. While we just pay money and we enter.
What else can I term this as?
Bribe, ma'am.
Right? So this can be a bribe which I am using it, which is not lawful according to the, it is forbidden by law. Okay. I don't want the same person answering every time. Okay. Now this is the editor of a local newspaper. He receives a big sum of amount from X, and he promises to publish a article which is against the public, which is defamatory article against Y. Now, can he publish that? I'll repeat. This is the editor of a local newspaper who wants to publish. There is an offer given by someone wherein X wants to publish an article. Now, this article is something which is defamatory, hitting the sentiments of another person of the same publisher itself. Now, is it lawful? Students there, anyone apart from Vinay, Mukesh, Bala?
Ma'am, it seems like she gave the money to the person only because she wanted to divorce and keep the money, so it is unlawful. It seems like
So
that. So,
that's only that reason is there is no harm in she going for a divorce or anything. Only thing is she's paid another person for getting it on the consideration that she would marry him, and then she's got him married, and she asked him to get a divorce. So this is unlawful.
unlawful.
No, बच्चों को disturb हो रहा है इस time पे। Learning में कैसे बैठेंगे? With something like giving, paying money, or doing which is abolished by the society itself. If we do certain activities, the objective of the purpose of the agreement itself is unlawful, or which is restricted, which is illegal, or which is immoral, etc., then that would become that you cannot carry on that agreement. So every agreement of which the object or consideration is unlawful, that becomes a void agreement. Okay, so now we will start with another unit which is known as performance of the contract. Now, how is it that I can perform a contract? I have an offer, I give it to the proposer. How is it that this contract can take place? How does the performance of a contract take place? How is the contract? The A wants to sell his bike to B for an amount of rupees 50,000. So in that case, A is offering, and in consideration is getting a cash. B is getting the bike, and in consideration he is getting a bike for an amount which is retained to A. So once both of them complete with their obligations of paying and getting it back, there is actual performance of the contract, and the contract is complete. Is that clear? So performance of a contract can take place when the parties within the contract, the performer, the offerer and the acceptor, perform the or they complete the actual performance. What would be another one? There are also circumstances where it is not possible to carry on the contract itself. Can I have an example for it? Where I do have an agreement, but at the initial stages, yes, it seems to be possible that I would be able to enter into a contract. But later stage, when I'm not able to perform it, then it becomes an attempted performance, and I will not be able to continue with the contract itself. So there are two ways in which a performance of a contract can be done. One, actually performing it and completing the task from both the ends, the offer and the acceptor. Second is there is either of them who is unable to fulfill the promise. That's why it becomes an attempted and the contract or the agreement is not complete. So it's either actual performance or attempted performance. Clear, students? Now, there are certain conditions which are attached to this performances. The first one is it should be unconditional. There should not be any other conditions which are attached apart from what is mentioned in the contract itself. So, whatever are the conditions, like if it is a proper condition or this is any conditions, terms and conditions, it should be attached to the contract or the agreement itself. If it should be unconditional. So first condition of a valid perform offer is it should be unconditional. Of course, there should be a consideration, there should be an object, and there should be some benefit which another person gets. There should be an objective for which both of them, there should be some obligation, but it should be lawful. Now there should be a proper time. There should not be ambiguity. There should be a stipulated time during the business hours or on a working day that this act should be performed. So an offer to perform must be made within a stipulated time and during the business hours only. This is a must as per law. Third condition is the place where it is to be performed. That should also be mentioned clearly and it should be at a stipulated place as mentioned in the contract. So if there is no stipulation as to place, it must be made at the promisor, whoever is making. If there is no place which is mentioned, then it is assumed by the law that it is to be made at the promiser's, so whoever is promising, the promisee's place of business. First three ones are clear, students. What are the valid offer to a perform? First, it should be unconditional. Then there should be a proper time. The short time should be stipulated and within business working hours only. There should be a proper place. If the place is not stipulated, then in that case, the promisee's place of business must be made as the place of performing the contract, whoever is promising. There should be an opportunity for him to examine. Now, this is very essential. See, we are talking about performance of a contract. When I say there should be an opportunity to examine, which means he should be given an to inspect the goods, etc., wherever it is possible, or wherever if you cannot physically show him the goods, at least how would it look like as a picture or through digital modes. You should be able to display the product to the. So there should be an opportunity to examine the product from both the offer and the acceptor's point of view. And the last one is there should be a obligation. That means there should be some consideration which has to be done in exchange of. It cannot be. We have already done this. It should not be out of love and should be a full obligation attached from offer and the office. Then there should be a proper person, or if it is in general public that you are giving an offer, that should be mentioned. Like you did with these, if it is an offer given to a general public, an ad saying that this is an offer by Pantaloons 50%. So that should be conveyed, and it should be conveyed to the general. If it is to a specific person, it should be to only to that specific person. So it should also, apart from proper time and place, proper person also should be mentioned in the contract. Only then it is possible to perform the contract. And how is it that you're going to pay? Terms, conditions should be clearly mentioned. So I hope it is easy to use. What are the conditions which are, or what are the conditions of a valid offer to perform? Firstly, what is the contract itself? It should be clear. There should not be any conditions attached to it. If it is attached, it should be mentioned clearly, not letter to it. Then there should be a proper time, proper place, proper person to whom who is going to perform the, or who is to be the performing, who is going to receive the benefits of it. There should be an opportunity for him to examine the commodity or the goods, and it should be for the whole obligation. That is, it should be in consideration for something in return. Now, when is it said? Who are the persons? It's one more time. I think I'm not sharing it. Yes, no one in the class. Only one person answers, my God. Performance of a contract. What are the conditions of a valid offer to perform? It should be unconditional. There should be a proper time. There should be a proper place. There should be an opportunity to examine. It should have the whole obligation, and there should also be a proper person who is going to the offer and the acceptance. It should be clear on that. Now, contracts in which needs to be performed. So we said that it is one is we read it as actual performance and attention performance. Now we're going to do with which needs to be performed. Contracts which need to be performed and which need not be performed. So a contract need to be performed when its performance becomes impossible. Like, for example, can I have an example for this? We've already done this. When the performance of a contract becomes impossible. Come on, students, think and tell me. When is it possible that the performance is not possible at all? When I say that, give me, can I have an example for this? Not even one. Suppose I am asking for a goods to be exported. Okay, Naman. Yes, Naman. Mm. Okay, the object itself is not there, so the contract becomes, you cannot perform the contract itself because the what is offered itself is not available. Good. Okay. Now, second one is when the parties to it agree to substitute a new contract for it, or to resign or alter it, or they try to at least first they try there is a new contract, or they make some changes, or they alter it. Then in that case, it is difficult for that contract. It need not be performed. When the promisee dispenses with or remits wholly or in part the performance of the promise made to him, or extends the time of such performance or accepts any satisfaction. simply says that when the terms and conditions where the stipulated time goes beyond the time and then he asks for an extension of the time, in that case it is difficult for them to perform the contract itself. Fourthly, when the person at whose option it is voidable, he this is a repetition of the second point itself. When the contract he resigns it, that is he refuses to perform the contract. In that case, it becomes impossible for him to perform. And when the promisee neglects or refuses to afford the promiser's reasonable facilities, even after entering into the contract, all this may happen that especially now these days in the period of Corona, though we make in a contract, but later stages there are certain conditions which we are not able to fulfill. So in that case, if we can openly the promiser or the promisee, it can be from any or not. So here, the promisee neglects or refuses to afford the promiser reasonable facilities at the time of contract. Yes, it was possible, but when performing the contract, I state that it is not possible, and I go back. And finally, when it is illegal, so there is more or less a repetition of when see the same thing is repeated when a contract for it when a new contract is made, or when it is replaced with another contract, or there is some alterations which is made, or any one of the parties are are not able to perform the contract itself. Under such circumstances, if the contract need not be performed at all. Clear with these two students. Firstly, what are the conditions for a valid offer to be performed, and when is a contract which needs to be performed? Now, when is it that I cannot perform a contract? Now, this is again by whom must a contract be performed? Actually, it is between the two parties whom the offer is given and who is accepting the offer. So, it is the promiser himself, the agent who acts on behalf of the offerer or the offeree, the legal representatives in the case of a property or something like that. Majorly in case of a property, there is a legal representative who can perform the contract. Any third person also I can give an authorization that he can act on behalf of me, and I give him all the rights and liabilities to perform the perform whatever is there in the contract. And lastly, it is performance of joint promises where two or more persons are involved, or all of them are jointly liable to perform the contract. Okay, clear? So, who should perform a contract, or by whom must a contract be performed? First, by the promiser himself, the agent, the legal representatives, the third person, and the performance of joint promise. I'll give a break. Please go through this, then we'll move to the next topic. We had made it very clear. Now, when the prescribed time, it should be clearly mentioned in the contract as according to the working hours within the stipulated time. Same goes for the place itself. So this should be prescribed by the promisee. And where it is not prescribed, in that case, the contract must be performed within a reasonable time or on a working day and within the usual hours of our business, or at a proper place. Usually, it should be the promisee's place itself. I think even this we have covered up earlier. Now, what happens in the case of failure to perform a contract within the stipulated time? What would happen? Okay, just go through this. We'll just discuss this. What would happen if they fail to perform a contract within the stipulated time? Can any one of you explain all the three cases? Failure to perform a contract within the stipulated time. What would happen in that case? In what circumstances can there be a failure? One, if there is a essence element is time. So if it is not within the stipulated time, there is a failure to perform within a fixed time, the contract becomes voidable. Second, when time is not of the essence of the contract, failure to perform within the time does not make the contract voidable. In such a case, what would happen is the contract would be revoked and will be accepted for delayed performance. So, if you are not able to perform within the stipulated time, then at the option of the promisee, you can perform it after a or you can perform it after a stipulated time. And of course, you can claim for compensation from the promisor for any loss or damage which is caused. And finally, in case of a contract voidable on account of promisor's failure, where the promisor has failed to perform within the agreed time or within a reasonable time, as the case may be, instead of rescinding the contract, he accepts the delayed performance. He cannot afterwards claim compensation for any loss caused by the delay. Less at the time of accepting. So when can he claim? When he accepts that he would be able to take up the problem. Case that he accepts that yes, it is my fault, I would be able to take in later. Then he can claim for compensation. But where he does not accept or there is a delayed acceptance before the performance of the contract, in that case he cannot claim for damage, but yes, he can do a delayed acceptance of the contract itself. So there are three conditions. One, when it is not done on a stipulated time, when can he claim for a compensation, and when can, if the time lapses on the contract itself, it is as per the discretion of the promisor. So the promisor's failure, in that case, he cannot claim for compensation, but unless at the time of accepting the delayed performance, it gives a notice or an intention to do so. So only in the D3, what happens if he is not able to perform the contract or he is not able, there is a failure to perform the contract within the stipulated time, what would happen? And lastly, we will do with devolution of joint liabilities is in case when we had done earlier, when there are more than one persons who are involved. In that case, everyone has got to give the consent. It is not that if one of them, all of them should demand the performance, only then you would be able to perform. In case someone expires or someone dies, then the claim or this would rest on the legal representative of the such deceased person. Clear students with when what happens in case of a joint liability, everyone has to claim for performance. Even one of them is not claiming for performance, then in that case it would not be performed. And in case of death of any one person of the whole, if it is a joint person, if the joint promise, then the legal representatives would be liable and they should carry on with the legal representative, assuming that he is the one of the member of the joint contract or the joint promisor or the promisee. Rights and liabilities is not that essential for you. Now, this is very essential. What is a reciprocal promise? Order of performance of reciprocal promise. Now, when a promise which is performed, which form from the consideration for each other, so which forms the consideration for each other, it's called a reciprocal promise. Every contract would have something in consideration. where one fellow like the bike and the rupees. So you are getting something in consideration to each other. These are known as reciprocal promise or mutual promises. So it is a common knowledge that bilateral contracts where both the contracting parties have to perform their promises involve mutual promises amongst the parties. So in such contracts, each party gives a promise in return of a promise. So there are some legal rules which are relating to this performance of reciprocal. Reciprocal promise is nothing that there should be some consideration from both the ends which they should receive. That is a mutual and it's a bilateral contract. I give you something, you I should get in return something. So that is what is known as a reciprocal promise. Okay. So these are the four conditions which are attached. Rules regarding the order of performance of reciprocal promise. First, it should be mutual and independent. It should not be that if both of them are offering the same. It should be mutual and dependent. Like both of them should be dependent on each other. Like the bike, I want the bike and I want money. So I am dependent on what is being offered. And finally, it is mutual. I'm sorry. Thirdly, it is mutual and concurrent. Like if only the bike gets sold, then only it is that I'm going to get consideration, or only if I pay him, yeah, it is that I'm going to get the bike. And finally, consequences where a party prevents performance, where any one of them is not able to or it is preventing the performance. In that case, you cannot perform the contract at all. Please try to understand this mutual and independent, mutual and dependent, mutual and concurrent. It should be very clear. Mutual and independent is because he is purchasing a bike, I am able to get something. So it is not, it is dependent. Independent is only I am offering and he is getting it. So it is independent. And finally, concurrent is both are both of them are depending on each other. Only if the event happens, or both of them should have happen simultaneously. That is, there should be a concurrence. Only if we purchases will we be able to pay. So that should be going hand in hand. No doubt, students. Anyone there in the class or not? Only Naman I hear is answering. That's it. Okay, assignment of contracts. Please read it for yourself, students. What is assignment of contract? It means transfer of contractual rights and liabilities to third party with or without the concurrence of the other party to the contract. This is when I give a legal that you can go ahead with it and you can act on behalf of me. So, when the contract transfer of contractual rights on behalf of me, like assuming that I was the person to the contract, I give all my rights and liabilities to a third party with or without the concurrence of the other party of the contract. It is essential that I give it with concurrence. Without concurrence, it would be very difficult. Okay. Where and all that is these are circumstances under which I cannot assign the contract to anyone else. When there is a personal skill, taste, or credit attached, the obligation under a contract cannot be assigned except with the consent of the promisee. The rights and benefits under a contract are assignable unless the contract is personal nature. I cannot transfer it. Assignment by operation of law takes place in case of death and insolvency. In that case, I would not be able to assign a third person. But legal representative, yes, he can after producing the certificate, but not apart from that. So these are the four conditions under which I would not be able to assign it to an other person. Just go through it, students. We'll stop with this today.